Hello, this is Mark Helm, and I'm the author of Creating Wealth Through Self-Storage, and this is episode number 300. 300. So I've been doing these episodes since 2015, learning out loud as I navigate my way through the self-storage business and sharing with other small investors so that we can get in a strategic way, get in the self-storage business or grow our self-storage business. No other business offers the benefits to small investors that self-storage does. And the upcoming decade, as I've said in other episodes, I think offers a lot of opportunity. Yes, it's a challenging time right now, just kind of where we are in the real estate cycle around self-storage, and depending on what market or sub-market you're in. But remember, that's a temporary phenomena. Things change. But I thought I would do something not done before, a little difference, given that this is episode number 300. And what I thought I'd do is share just a few clips from some of the episodes since 2015, showing the growth of the industry, at least since I've been doing these episodes. And what I did was take some of the most watched videos, dice them up a little bit, slice them, and share with you kind of the progression. Now, a couple things I'll say before we get going. It's very humbling. Let me put this another way. It's very embarrassing to see myself, especially in the early days. I realize that maybe the content is interesting because I'm pretty clear I'm not if I watch video after video of myself. So for those of you that have been with me a long time, thank you for being longtime supporters. I hope you've gotten something from viewing these videos. If you're new to this channel or new to my blog or new to me, thank you very much. I will focus on doing good content because after doing this video, I'm pretty clear I'm not the most entertaining person and I can be redundant. So anyway, with that said, when I first started these videos, not the first one, but one of the early ones I did was when I had just gotten back from ISS convention in Las Vegas. I think it was 2015. I literally got off the plane and drove straight to a campsite. And I was with my family and shot this video, and I'm pretty clear who the stars are in this video. Enjoy. Hello, my name is Mark Helm. I'm the author of Creating Wealth Through Self-Storage, and we just left the ISS convention in Las Vegas, and I went straight to a camping trip in Red River Gorge in eastern Kentucky, and here's one of my grandchildren, Noah. Are you smiling? So anyway, I want to talk very quickly about the convention we just left, and I want to give you the state of the world. Well, the storage world, that is. So if you've been going to the conventions for the last 3 years, you've noticed a distinct change each year of the convention. 3 years ago, the theme was survival. Everyone wanted to survive the downturn, stay alive, not lose your facility, stay in business. Then last year, there was a little bit of hope. But this year, it's optimism. Optimism was the theme. Everyone's occupancy was up, and everything was going well. Jackson, kind of hold it still, buddy. Now, Jackson, who you'll see in a minute, is my grandson who's doing the filming.
Can I show myself?
Turned into an excellent, excellent crew member. So, hold it still, buddy. Optimism is the theme. However, I caution people. As optimism hits, what you're going to see is a lot of new product come online. Be sure, if you're considering an expansion or a new facility, to get a feasibility report done. This is the time where people create new facilities, don't do their homework, and then are stuck with a lot of unleased space. And all kinds, literally every person that we use in the storage industry I met at one of these conventions. And there's Charlotte selling our software program. And after all this, there's only one thing that we can do, and that's get out in the woods and celebrate. So over the years, I've talked a lot about a business strategy, having a plan, having a strategy, knowing what a deal is for you. You know, I didn't have that. No one told me that when I started off in this business, and I kind of floundered around for a while. Yes, there were business plans, but I finally figured out, talking to attorneys of all people, what would make a good business strategy for my self-storage business. So as I start working with people one-on-one, or specifically in the boot camp, the very first part of phase one of the 4-phase strategy in the boot camp is designing a business strategy. And it has never been harder to buy self-storage than it is right now. It's also never been more rewarding to buy self-storage than it is right now. And quite simply, the REITs have driven up the prices of self-storage in literally every segment of the marketplace. In our market, we had an owner that owned a rather large facility, but got $10 million for his self-storage facility from a REIT. You know, a very, very low cap rate. Now, all of a sudden, all the owners in our market have put their properties on the market trying to get their $10 million. Not serious at all about selling, just testing the market. It's challenging buying today. But if you're studying the first course in the Quick Start Academy, how to buy your first self-storage facility, you realize that you have a secret weapon. Your secret weapon is your business strategy. Like I say in the course, my self-storage business transformed once I got crystal clear on what my business strategy was. That's the power of having a business strategy. You know exactly what you can pay, what you can't pay. It takes all the emotion and the guesswork out of it, and you can really work with the seller structuring a deal so that you can hit your plan and they can still get what they want. Doesn't always work, but it works more than it does just going in trying to get a good deal. It is literally one of your secret weapons that you have. And it could be said that the managers, the facility managers at a self-storage facility are the most important people in the company. And I know in our case, in many ways, that is true. When we buy a facility, when we build a facility, when we expand a facility, it's the managers that are accountable and responsible for leasing that facility up and getting that facility running properly. For the public in the marketplace, it is the managers that are the face, the personality of the self-storage facility, not the owners. In most cases, they don't even know who the owners are. So I thought it might be interesting for you to meet some of our managers. Now, I learned the hard way. You don't just show up with a camera and start videoing some of the lady managers. I learned that you call ahead and tell them what you're going to do. Learned that the hard way. But most of these managers did not get much notice. One manager got an overnight notice. But for the most part, these are pretty much unscripted, just responses to questions. I thought it might be interesting for you to see, and I would like to introduce you to our managers. What are the skill sets of a good self-storage manager?
I would first have to say attitude. Your attitude has to be a winning attitude, and you also have to be very customer service oriented. The golden rule, treat people like you'd want to be treated. We've learned in the industry that aside from business storage, it'd be residential, and the reason for that could possibly be death, divorce, or a move. And when people are navigating things like that, you need to be mindful of that and put them at ease about where their things are going to go. And when you come up as a winner with great self-storage, customer service, you're going to win every time. That's why I can be the most expensive facility in the city, and I will have the highest occupancy rate because I know how to treat people, and that's how they want to be treated. So that attitude and customer service, I take ownership of this property. I'm not the owner, but I feel like it's mine, so I'm going to run it the way I want it to be run, so it'll be successful.
Skill sets of a good manager in self-storage.
I think a good manager has to be honest, has to be dependable, has to enjoy what they're doing. I think a good manager needs to be really good with people, be customer oriented. I think the good manager should have a lot of basic skills, needs to have maintenance skills, needs to be able to interface with business people, needs to be able to sell, needs to be able to sell storage. You have to be able to determine a person's motivation in buying and getting a storage unit. You can do this by asking leading questions. You have to get in step with your customer. You have to deal with them, I guess, on a level that they're comfortable with. A business person will be somewhat different than a person that comes in a t-shirt and in shorts and flip-flops. They're going to look at things a little bit differently. So you have to be able to tailor your presentation or tailor the asking of your questions to a certain person. Even things like voice pattern. I know I'm over 50 years old now. My voice is a little bit different than if a young lady comes in here that's 18 or 19 years old. She will tend to talk very fast. I have to listen carefully to what is her buyer motivation and sort of tailor my presentation to what she's looking for.
A good storage manager is somebody that has integrity, somebody who can be self-motivated and set their own little game. They make up a game, and then they try to reach that. And that somebody who cooperates and coordinates with their staff, but also with their customers, that takes care of things in a timely fashion. A good storage manager is able to meet deadlines, do what they say they're going to do. Mm-hmm. You can count on that. Really have to be able to pay attention to detail and be able to multitask.
You're good at like creating a game and playing it. So like give an example of a game you like to create and play.
I set a daily goal of what number I like to hit with the money coming in, and keep track of that so that I'll be on target. And I really love when I hit the number at the end of the month.
First is just being proactive, making sure that when a customer shows up at this facility that they're ready to be taken care of, that the units are clean, that all the mechanics are working. We can show them that all our security, everything we've got in security, the cameras, the gates, that we do, the police patrol that we have in there. But we always got to make sure that everything is prepared. So when they walk in here, they don't see it's very seamless. Like this is the way it looks all the time. That we're ready to go, and they're in and out of here, and it's very convenient, very safe, very pleasant for them. That would be first, and then second is always customer service. We are, at least I am. You have to be personable with people. You have to be able to take care of them when they come in here. Talk to them, be relaxed with them, treat them exactly like what you would want to be treated when you walked in anywhere. If you're the most important person in the room, you're paying attention to them, you're taking care of them. That way they're happy with staying with you. They need the storage space, so they want to stay with you because you've been that way with them. You treated them like you would want to be treated yourself. At least that's the way I look.
What are what you think are the main skill sets for a good storage manager?
I think a good storage manager needs to be a storage pro. P for personable, because I really do think that people need to be kind and and inviting in the store. We're dealing with a lot of people who are moving and they're stressed, or people who are going through a divorce, or people who've had a death in the family, or someone who's just new to Louisville and needs to see a friendly face in the city. R is for reliable. We need to be reliable to the incoming tenants, current tenants, but also we need to be reliable to the owners. Do our tasks and be well organized and do the job. The O is for on target, because we of course have goals for ourselves, goals of occupancy, goals in collections. Be a storage pro.
What are some of the best things, benefits of being in the storage business?
You can really help people out. I know it's a business, but there are people that have had storage units here at Q2 Storage for years, and they need the space. We have a lot of tenants who refer us regularly because of that need and meeting the need. Plus, people often come in here and they're surprised at how pleasant the office is, how nice the office is. I can't tell you how many times Paul and I have heard, I didn't think storage places were this nice. So
Cool.
it's a good response.
Cool.
So what'd you think of those managers? Well, I could have filmed or videoed any of our managers and the answers would have been very similar. These just happen to be the ones at the facilities that are closest to me. And that's not by accident, that's by design. In our business strategy, we want to have the best and most expensive self-storage facility in any submarket. And to fulfill on that business plan, we're looking for managers with three traits. We're looking for self-starters, we're looking for managers with good sales skills or can be trainable to sell, and we're looking for managers that can provide excellent customer service. And what keeps me going are you guys. Over the 300 episodes I've done, believe me, I wouldn't be doing it unless I got the positive feedback I've gotten and how some of the material I put out has supported you in getting in this business. I get more energy, more reward, more juice from seeing somebody get their first self-storage facility than anything else I do professionally. That's why I do these videos. Also to help the small investor stay on top of his game, especially as this industry becomes more sophisticated. As small investors, we've got to roll with it. But it's you guys that have kept me going. And today I want to talk about the magic. I want to talk about the magic of life. I want you to imagine a circle, and in that circle is your comfort zone. And then I want you to imagine everything, the entire universe outside that little circle, and that's where the magic happens. The magic in life happens when you get outside your comfort zone. And what has me talking about this is I've been on the phone with a number of you all, talking with you, coaching you, supporting you, answering questions that people have. And this week in particular, I talked to two individuals and I was really inspired by what they're doing and what they're creating. In both cases, they're focused on buying land and building. In both cases, building self-storage was not their first way and their first desire as a way to get into the self-storage business. They have been out looking at existing facilities, but pricing is so high, they cannot get in the business in a way that makes any sense and justifies the amount of money that they're putting in and the risk that they're taking. So they put land under contract and are going through all of the steps that you need to go through to build self-storage. And they don't know what they're doing, and they're doing it anyway. I was totally inspired by the courage it takes to do that. I know because I've done it. And I can't tell you how many episodes, how many pieces of episodes. We talked about overbuilding. Sometimes I even bore myself. And we hear a lot about it, and it's on my mind every day. Oversupply of self-storage. So is it catastrophic? Is oversupply catastrophic? How do you really know if a market's overbuilt? Now, I don't always call it overbuilding. Sometimes I can get creative. oversupply. But as you can guess, what was on everyone's mind, and the word I heard, if I heard it once, I heard it 300 times, oversupply. And sometimes I can even take oversupply and overbuilding and slice and dice that up a little bit. Charlotte, North Carolina, approaching overbuilding. Dallas, overbuilt market, looking at self-storage projects in, let's say, Denver, Nashville, even my hometown of Louisville. Sure doesn't look like self-storage construction has peaked here. In Louisville, there's still 2.2 million square feet of projects either planned or under construction. Go down to Nashville, 3.2 million square feet of projects either planned or under construction. And I'm getting my information from Yardi Matrix. I think what I mostly want to say about doing 300 episodes is thank you. Thank you for supporting this channel, supporting me, and thank you mostly for the work you do in the self-storage industry. And for those of you getting in the self-storage industry, for the courage it takes to do that. I truly mean that. It's the best business there is. I know how much it changed my life and my family's life and the trajectory of where we were headed. And I know it can do the same for you. So thank you very much. I've got one more clip, but I look forward to being with you next week. Hi, this is Mark Helm. I just wanted to take a moment and say happy Thanksgiving to you. I know this has been kind of a whacked out, crazy year. Many of us have suffered some losses of people in our lives, but there's a lot to be grateful for. So as we move through these holiday seasons, all this work we do in creating our storage business are ultimately done so we can experience the fullness of life and the fulfillment that being in business for ourselves offers. And no other time like Thanksgiving and the upcoming holidays remind us of why we do all this work. So I just wanted to take a moment and tell you how grateful and thankful I am for you. And my fervent wish for you as you experience the fulfillment and happiness that being with family members and the fulfillment that owning our own business can offer us. So take time this holiday season to enjoy the people you are with. I'll see you later.